I'm Tamarah Renecle. I'm a skin specialist and I hope you listened to my podcast in the previous edition of EV. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about microneedling, a treatment that you probably heard of but not sure too much what it's about. Microneedling is a term that we use in our industry quite often and people are familiar with it, but they don't actually know what it is and what it entails. It's a form of collagen induction, and what we do is we create tiny little channels into the skin, and these channels allow product penetration for active ingredients that we need to get deeper into the skin. But most importantly, we're activating the healing response within the skin. And this is when we create collagen and elastin. Now, a lot of people don't know what collagen and elastin may be, but they're actually fibers that create the scaffolding, the strength within the skin, and also the elasticity, so that ability of the skin to pull back when it's stretched. So microneedling is basically a treatment that stimulates the production of new tissue and break down old tissues so that we can keep the active production and metabolism of the cells in order. The biggest misconception with microneedling is when people come through my door is that they're quite worried about how painful the treatment may be. But it's actually not painful and it doesn't have to be that way. We use a numbing cream so that the skin is completely pain-free when we do the treatment. And basically what we're doing is we're gliding a device over the skin. It creates millions of tiny little punctures into the skin. And this creates a little bit of redness or erythema. So you're going to feel, after the treatment, a little bit of heat. Sometimes people say it feels like a little bit of sunburn. And then after that, the skin kind of calms down after a day or two. And then we get the process of healing starting. So the process of microneedling begins with cleansing the skin properly. Obviously, if it is your first time in our clinic, we have a good consultation and make sure that this treatment is best suited for you. And then we apply the numbing cream. This stays on the skin for about 20 to 30 minutes. We massage it in so that the cream is penetrated deeply. After that, I remove that numbing cream, cleanse the skin so it's very sterile, and I begin the process of gliding that machine over your skin. When that machine is creating little channels into the skin, it opens up channels for serums to penetrate deeper. These serums that I apply onto the skin have normally hyaluronic acids, antioxidants, minerals, building blocks for the skin to produce a very healthy, create the diet around the treatment that creates a healthy new tissue. And then from there, we work at calming the skin down. Often we can do a mask if necessary, if you would like, and then we put on the aftercare. The aftercare is the most essential part of this treatment just because you need to make sure your skin is protected. We've created inflammatory response and we want to reduce that inflammation very quickly. So we provide you with a barrier cream and steps in the next few days to stick by. And obviously the biggest thing is to wear your sunblock morning and afternoon. So after the treatment is performed, you are going to feel quite tight. Your skin's going to be red for a day or two, and we're going to feel a tightness in the skin. And then onto that, once the skin has calmed down, we start feeling a little bit of flakiness. It generally isn't a peel, like a lots of skin flaking off, but a gentle flake. And this flake will be around for about 2 to 5 days. The barrier cream I supply for you is like a hug in a bottle. You're going to apply it as much as you want, and then onto that, obviously, your sunscreen. And then from about day 5 to 7, your skin is going to feel like, the texture is going to feel like a baby's bottom. It's nice and smooth, glowy, hydrated. But onto that, collagen and elastin doesn't form within 5 days. These are fibers that take about 45 to 90 days to fully mature and become a full strand. So for the anti-aging ability of this treatment, we've got to allow this treatment to work on to about 3 months, and that's where you'll see your best results from your first treatment. Another misconception about microneedling is that we need to go very deep. I often get clients who've already had the treatment and come to me and ask me to really go deep. This is something that can actually cause more damage than be beneficial for your skin. Depending on the actual indication we have, so your concern with your skin, perhaps it be pigmentation or acne, we need to work at specific levels within the skin because those lesions sit at different levels. So if we're working at deep wrinkles or scarring, we really need to get down deep into the skin. But when we're working in pigmentation, it's sitting much more superficially within the skin, and if we overstimulate the skin, we can cause more pigmentation. So there's always a balance, and we always have that initial consultation for me to decide at what depth we're going to go, and make sure that we have a proper treatment plan. Just to elaborate on the skin concerns that we can treat in the clinic with Dermapen, it's almost everything. We can start with general skin rejuvenation just to keep the skin active and glowing, hydrated, fine lines and wrinkles nice and plump. Then we can move on to things like pigmentation, acne, scarring, stretch marks, enlarged pores. I can go on. Even rosacea, which in some cases it can be one of the better treatment options if the skin is quite sensitive. Personally, I love microneedling. It's one of my favorite treatments to perform on a client, and this is because we don't use any added heat or light or even chemicals to the skin. We're really just harnessing the body's own natural healing capacity and in turn creating healthy, beautiful, flawless skin. So microneedling is quite versatile. Obviously we're creating new collagen and elastin, but sometimes we need that added boost when there are things like sunspots or very sensitive, stressed out skin. PRP or PRF, which we do at Alphen Aesthetics, is a great way to really improve the skin when it's really stressed out. And this is when we take blood from your arm, we spin the blood and create plasma. And this plasma is your own natural plasma, and it's got so many growth factors within it, which create new healthy tissue. So it's just an added boost for a normal microneedling treatment. Another treatment that we can add in the same day would be the Skin Tech TCA peels. This is when we combine very superficial microneedling with TCA peels, only done in winter and prepped skin, and there is a lot of downtime associated with this treatment, but it really focuses on really sun damaged skin. Another treatment that we do in conjunction with microneedling, which I love a lot, is mesotherapy. This is where we do Dermapen, and then we also include mesotherapy, which is tiny little injections under the skin. And these little injections contain serum that we normally apply on the skin, but we really getting it underneath into the mesoderm of the skin, and this is where it creates a reservoir, and then whilst our skin is healing from Dermapen, we're getting a good nutrition for the skin to feed from whilst producing new tissue.